My presentation, inshallah, is on the hadith of the Holy Prophet Muhammad al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alih, La yuba'u ad-dayn bid-dayn, that the loan shall not be sold by another loan. This hadith is expanded upon by Imam al-Rida alayhi salam. In the first hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alih, there appears to be a complete prohibition on the sale of a loan to another person. In the second hadith by Imam al-Rida alayhi salam, there appears to be some tasamuh or leniency in the sale of the loan, but that he prohibits any change in the terms of the loan. Now these narrations are extremely important, especially in the Western world, because every day the loan is sold to a second party. The mustalah in the banking world is called securitization. How is this hadith La yuba'u ad-dayn bid-dayn usually explained in the books of mu'amalat and fiqh al-uqud? Traditionally, our ulama have explained the hadith La yuba'u ad-dayn bid-dayn in two ways. Number one, that if there is any interest, any riba, then when the loan is sold to a second party, this becomes, of course, haram. This is quite simple. A second interpretation of the hadith traditionally by our fuqaha has been that if I take a loan from one person, in order to be able to take a second loan, for example, I take a loan of 5,000 from you, and then I go to the second person and say, I have 5,000 as capital. Now give me 20,000. I have created an economic house of cards. Because if I default on the first loan here, I will also default on the second loan here. And therefore, it continuously creates a very risky situation, which ends up being in the realm of bay' al-gharar, or a type of loan that is too risky to be taken. So the fuqaha traditionally explain La yuba'u ad-dayn bid-dayn in these two ways. The different ways banks benefit and accumulate unearned wealth by the sale of a debt. Why would a bank sell the debt? There must be some manfa'ah, some benefit to them. In the paper, I mentioned 4 different ways that securitization benefits the bank. I will briefly mention 1 or 2 so you get the picture, inshallah. Let us say I am the bank and I lend you $100,000 for whatever reason. I can sell the loan to a second bank. Why? When he purchases the loan from me, I have safeguarded the loan from my side and I have passed it on to the second bank. The second bank now gets to charge additional fees to the person that it has lent the money to. So not only have I then managed to ensure I don't lose any money, I have taken all the risk off my shoulders, I have passed the risk on to someone else, but they now make the fees. They charge additional fees for the collection of the debt. Number 2, traditionally in Western banking systems, when you make a loan for somewhere like 25 or 30 years. So if I lend you $100,000 to buy a house for 25 years, but I know that after 5 years I'm going to sell the loan to another bank, why would I do this? The reason why I make a 25-year deal, but then sell the loan after 2 years, I make the deal because I make you think that you can pay the loan back over 25 years, but I'm not interested in giving you money for 25 years. I'm only interested in giving you money for 2 years. So long as I, the bank, have made money for 2 years, I can lift that burden off my own shoulders and then give you the loan, still keeping him at risk at a rate that he could not afford. He gets into a contract with me thinking he can afford 25 years of loan. He can't. But as long as I've made 2 years of profit, I then pass on to someone else for them to collect the debts. This is systematically practiced in the Western banking system, and it accumulates masses of unearned wealth. Whereas Imam al-Rida alayhi salam prohibits any change in the term or any additional fee if the loan is to be sold. Hadith of Imam al-Rida alayhi salam says, beware of al-hars, greed, wal-hasad, and envy. These two characteristics destroyed the previous generations. In Western economic studies, there is something called moral economy. Moral economy is the idea that the economy should be rooted in legislation that is just. And this is by Western moral economists. In fiqh al-uqud, we have the same concerns. We have, for example, the issues of al-ihtikar, al-talaqqi, al-nasi'a, and so on. The fact that in fiqh al-uqud and mu'amalat, we have the same issues of moral economy, and some Western economists also have moral economy. My paper says that we should be working with Western moral economists in regards to the hadith, la yuba'u dayn bid-dayn, in order to be able to stop the practice of the selling of the loan and how banks systematically exploit people in the West. Without the hadith of the Prophet or Imam al-Rida alayhi salam, we would not be able to understand how this is prohibited, or where we would be able to make genuine help for people in the Western world or anywhere in the world